Hi, welcome to the Well. Maria from Bloom, Angela from Grounded Dreamers for the week of July 17th, 2023. So let's pause, circle up at the well, and just take a moment to get grounded. Find your breath. Find your feet. Grow roots down into the earth. Get grounded. And find something you're grateful for. A moment to anchor that gratitude. And then let's move into the reading for this week.
Okay. So this reading took on a life of its own, as they all do, but this one was like, oh, when I kept pulling cards. The lead card that I pulled is isolation. So this is when you get to a point when you've cut yourself off from your experience, from the world, from yourself, you're in hiding, whatever it is that prompted you to retreat, right? At some point, sometimes when we retreat like that, it becomes harder to get back out, right? We end up stuck there, and this iced in, iced out kind of a vibe. And then, as we're reminded in this card, the way to move through it, right, is to this figure is showing emotion, being himself. That's the way to melt the ice, is to start to move of your own accord, to express yourself from your inner being. Right beside the isolation card, I pulled aloneness. And we've talked about this before, how being lonely is the absence of another, but being alone is the presence of yourself. And this is your empowerment coming on board. These two have sort of the same concept, sort of, I guess. You're on your own, but this one is lacking support. This one is in full support with your own full self-support and support from spirit and community, but you're
connected to source.
Full being, right? Connection to source. Your full being is what's leading here. So it's making that shift. It's really a perception, right? It's just shifting the perception, seeing it in a new way with the new vision card. And then once you make that transfer from being stuck and isolated to being fully empowered and knowing your path, then things start to open up. So from there, I pulled this entire chakra reading because I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. So I pulled, starting at the root chakra, our foundation, our connection to the earth. I got acceptance. This is reminding you to accept yourself completely as you are, without fail. Even those things you perceive as faults or as lacking or whatever that is, those are all mental concepts as well. So your connection to what is right and true for you, get in touch with it and then let it swell up, let it grow from there. And don't divert yourself from that knowing, which moves us into the next card, the second chakra, which is our emotions, is our self-worth. And this is a deep emotional knowing. This is a peace with, to be at peace with exactly who you are, and the sense of deserving, right, what others bring forth and bring towards you. And then I think I said in the group, actively receiving that that comes toward you, those things that you deserve, the well wishes, the acknowledgments, the gifts, actively receiving those because they buoy you a little more, right? They keep that momentum going for you as you rise into your full self. Third chakra, this is your center of will, your self-empowerment. I got facade. And this is asking you to just give it up, being anything that you're not. If within you're not quite accepting fully who you are, then this is going to be in place. The facade will be in place because you don't believe it, right? So then there's going to be a shield out there. Once you're aligning this and saying, yeah, I mean, getting, who I am, and that's what you get, because that's all there is, right? And your self-worth starts to build up, then the facade can fade and you can let it dissolve away and heal. And then in your heart chakra, I pulled this card, Gossip. And this is really just not buying into what others think of you, because it's usually on the surface, especially if it's something negative or judgmental. That's usually just a surface energy. This story here, the little fable, is that there's a woman in the village who everybody just thought was a certain way, and they talked about her all the time, and they just thought, oh, she's no good. And then she passed away, and they went and saw her belongings, and among her belongings were just the most magnificent pieces of art. She was an artist, and no one knew it. So they labeled her and they judged her and talked about her in one way only, on the surface with the gossip, but didn't get to know her from the heart. And this is, in your realignment, this is your way to be able to just express fully from the heart, so that people don't have misconceptions about you, and they don't prejudge, and there's more appreciation. Then in the throat chakra, in your place of expression and getting it done and getting it out there as far as your own personal alignment, I got impatience. This is saying, pace yourself. Don't, jump ahead too much. You're making this progress. You are, working on that full acceptance of your entire self. And, there's no rules, there's no race, there's no structure. You're doing it at your own pace, and allow for that. Allow for the pauses that are necessary in order to sort of rebuild your energy and move again. And then in your seventh chakra, your sixth chakra, the intuition, I got mysticism. So this is like on the heels of that impatience, why can't I just be seen for who I am, right? You need to instill some trust in the unseen, in the unknown, and just know I'm doing the work from the inside, and that full recognition is coming, or that full sense of accomplishment and that full sense of self is coming. And it's just relying on, what where you're headed, but you can't quite see it yet. And then in your seventh chakra, the crown chakra, I got creation. And this is your ability to really empower, all that energy that you've aligned, and bring it forth and bring it out into the universe. And whether it's that, you're a creative and you're literally creating things as a form of self-expression, that previous alignment is important in order to come out with an authentic expression of who you are, if it's in your art form, or if it's just, I'm creating a new business, I'm creating a family, I'm creating new relationships. Just, it's a reminder to have the alignment before that stuff starts coming through. Or the act of the alignment, the work of the alignment forces this creative energy. It forces it out of you. So yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Izzy decided to express herself.
Did she? I didn't hear her.
Oh, you didn't? Oh, she barked right when you were talking.
Was she?
Well, we're all creators, right? That's what I was thinking about through the reader. We're all,
and Izzy knows that.
Izzy knows.
Yeah.
Oh, so beautiful. Let's take a moment to really feel into what would it mean, right, for our facade to melt away. Just take a moment to feel into that. Finding trust in our system, whatever that means to your system, finding trust inside of you, anchoring in that trust. Oh, and then again, just letting the facade melt away, the inauthenticities, masks. As they're melting away, just imagine that they're nourishing the earth. They're being swept away by the wind. They're being transmuted by the ethers or transmuted by fire, just using the elements, dissolving in water, just letting those facades melt. And then take a moment to really envision that new vision. Create a vision of that new vision as if it's already been fulfilled. You've created that vision. Now have gratitude as if it's already happened. And then let's come back into the next reading.
Okay, so we're going to take it a little bit. We're going to go a little deeper into that. So we're going after our inner alignment, right? We're getting there. We're mostly there.
Mm-hmm.
And then the first card I pulled in the next spread is Joan of Arc. You're a leader. I love that so much. There's so much power there, right?
Yeah, awesome.
And this is, in the way she was a leader to others, but also within you. And I feel really that's more what we're talking about here is you're in charge of your path of, not of the conditions always, or the experiences or the things that come towards you, right? You're not in charge. You don't have control over that, but you have full control over how you respond and what you attract to and what you discard because it doesn't feel right. You're in charge of all of that. And with the previous, set of chakra cards where we aligned that, now you get to take it somewhere, right? Now first of all, it's creating healing from, past experience, from things that may have traumatized you, that made you believe that you were less than you are, that you were not deserving, that made you believe you can't achieve those things you want to achieve. So that alignment really sparked off a real important realization, or it has the potential to spark off a really important realization within you that ends up with a soft healing vibe. And then I pulled consciousness, and this is a mental card. This is a mental aspect, but this is the highest, in that suit, in the mind suit of the Zen Tarot. And this is your higher self, letting your intuition guide you through things. And yeah, you make decisions as a human and you execute and you work on them and you organize, but your higher self is also there. And if you turn your, you shift your little, gaze a little bit and know it and recognize it and let your higher self be part of these decisions that you're making and that you're executing, there's a smoother feeling to it. And it feels definitely more aligned with your own needs. Then I pulled no thingness. And this is just remembering, I'm creating, I'm leading my own path, but I'm not really in a harsh expectation of any one outcome. I'm here for the journey. I'm here for the fun, and I will see where it takes me, right? I'm moving with it. I'm not going to cling to anything from the past, and I'm not going to jump too far ahead to, out of the pace that I'm in. So it's staying aligned. And then really, this is kind of like that trusting, that mysticism card too. It's just knowing that I'm headed where I need to head. I'm not sure what it's going to look like, but I'm going in that direction.
And that's the unseen, right?
The same. Yeah. The unseen. And then more of the same, I got meandering pathway. And this is guiding us to follow that flow, right? Yeah. If we, sometimes we like to jump ahead, our minds love to jump ahead, but sometimes too, we get ourselves, moving at such a pace, but that could end up being exhausting, and that may not be the natural flow that the universe has meant for you. So just, staying within that pace and that timing is important, and taking the signs from the universe as they come along your path, because your flow may take another direction if something feels, oh yeah, that feels more aligned with me now. And you may not make a straight pathway to where you're headed, because of it feels better to go off to the left for a minute, right? And I pulled patience just in case we couldn't grasp it in the last spread, the impatience card. It's reminding us, this is the foggy bog, and it's reminding us, and it really is kind of like the mysticism too. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's there. So just have patience and let that fog dissipate so you can discover what's waiting for you. And then from there, make a decision in which direction to go. This agreement with yourself to move with that energy, know that you know best. You know what's best for yourself, and your higher self can guide you on that. All of this whole leading up to this part at this point could lead to a breakthrough. And now this could be in your outer world, like something obvious, like this project you wanted just starts to really take off. Or this could be within that, oh, like the clarity comes. Oh, wow. Yeah, I made this choice because it felt better to me. And now look at the rewards, right? Look at what I get when I just make that simple shift from what others expect of me to what's best for me. And bam, there you go. Now you're on a path of power. And then I have the master at the end here. And this is your acknowledgement. I think I said in the group, we think of mastery, and there's, very select people that we think of, and on an outward way, in an accomplishment way, who are masters at what they do. But the truth is, every one of us is our own master. We can and do, over the course of our lifetimes, master our own destiny. We master what's best for us. If we, buy into the fact that we are the creators of our experience, then everything leading up to now, even the stuff that wasn't easy, was there for our growth, was there to get us here. And that's mastery right there, is acknowledging and recognizing it.
Yeah. I was saying this in group, our higher self is our inner master.
Yeah, exactly.
Always there to support us. Yeah. And, if we think about the world of interpretation, right, that we're constantly interpreting, and our interpretations are our own creations.
Yeah.
That's how we are creators of our own reality, is by masterminding, in a way, our interpretations. So it's like first getting into a space of no thingness so that we just get clear. And then, okay, how am I going to create my reality? Right? Yeah. So
it's all your choice. It's all your choice. A lot of times we like to point blame or point reason, justify. I'm here because that person did this, or I'm here because these circumstances are this way. Sometimes to a point, sometimes, that's part of the human
coming
experience.
From victim energy, right?
But it's a little bit victim energy. And so, and it's okay, because it's very human. But once you start to just once in a while kind of go, oh yeah, no, yeah, that's happening over there, but my choice now, I'm just gonna wait, or I'm gonna go in that direction, or whatever. You do have choices. We feel like we 100%. Don't, but we do. Yeah.
Well, even when horrible things occur, because horrible things do occur, we have a choice in how we interpret those experiences. And we have a choice about how we identify with what we make those experiences mean about us. And we have a choice about which direction we're going to go. Like, am I going to go into therapy and do healing work? Am I going to a coaching relationship and do transformational thought work, or whatever it may be, right? Am I going to embrace my soul and do my soul work? Like, we have a choice about how we're going to respond to whatever it is that occurs.
And even in those moments that were things that are undesirable that are happening to us, they bring up emotions. Maybe that's fear and sadness and worry and
shame and guilt,
and that's okay, because that's our human response. But you also have a choice how long you're going to sit in that. Yes, I'm going to feel all my feelings surrounding this, and then I'm going after a solution.
Yeah.
If you just agree with yourself that I'm going to allow myself to feel it and then seek the solution,
Yeah.
it becomes less torturous.
And feelings are interpretations as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
So segmenting out the feelings so we can honor them and acknowledge them and allow them to flow and go along their way, which is what feelings need to do. They need to flow rather than be suppressed. They need to be allowed and flowed. So then that experience happens. And then we honor, okay, I'm making this mean this or whatever. Oh, that's it. And then we get space from all of that. Then we can just kind of keep going on our journey.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, that's what the mastery path is. Really, this is the mastery path. Awesome. Towards a new vision.
Towards new vision.
What we choose to identify with matters.
Yeah,
So
it really does.
yeah.
And we are sometimes mindless about the way we're choosing.
Absolutely.
Or we feel disempowered, and that's not my choice, but it always is. And that's, there's a little shift in perception that needs to happen within, but and we're not perfect. We're not going to be able to get to that every time, but just knowing that process.
Yeah. And I was just going to jump in and say, we're not saying that I chose to get raped, or I chose to have my child murdered, or I chose to have that car. We're not saying that.
Mm-mm.
We're talking about a different level of choice.
Yeah.
Right? Like when something occurs, we have the choice how we perceive it and how we be with it going forward. Right? And how we interpret.
If you're assaulted violently, in rape, you can choose vengeance. You can choose
healing and forgiveness.
Complete despair or healing. Yeah, you have a choice, and you could choose a combination of all three if you want, but
it's a journey.
Ultimately, the healing and the forward movement and the solution seeking side of you comes through ultimately, and that's where the growth is.
Yeah, I mean, as a rape survivor myself, like that's the journey. And ultimately, it's forgiveness. Powerful. I had no idea that was going to come through today, but here it is.
Yeah, there we go. Exposure.
Yeah. So, well, honoring everyone's journeys. Yes, breakthroughs. Amazing. Well, thank you as usual. Have a great week, everyone.